Welcome, everyone. What we're going to focus on today in our practice is called the Five Treasures. And this is a combination, it's like five favorites of traditional ancient Qigong, but the set was put together in modern times by some of the masters involved in the National Qigong Association, nqa.org, in honor of 9/11 or in response to. And I really like the set, but I also like the spirit of it, and it has much relevance in these times. It was about being able to support one another, to be able to join together through time and space in the same practice, to be able to uplift and inspire and help healing, right, for everyone, and a coming together of our nation and of our world. So, seems relevant for today, right? There's a nice resonance there. So we're going to take our time with these five movements. But first, as we do, is taking a moment to get into the body, and we'll shake loose a little bit, just getting ourselves moving. So important to first get into the body. These practices are an opportunity to train the mind, to be present. So first thing is, let go of what you've already been busy doing today, and the to-do list, whatever you're thinking about for the rest of the day, the week, the month, the year, whatever, and just set them aside and be present here now. You can choose to pick those things up again later. You might find that they don't seem relevant anymore, or what seemed very urgent and maybe even stressful can now be approached in a new way, with presence, maybe with joy, instead of, oh, I have to, right? Because when we come right down to it, it's just such an incredible miracle that we're here. So when we have that gratitude, we're here in this body, living this life here on earth, then everything we get to do is actually really magic and can be filled with wonder and awe. So we take that into our practice as we tune into the body, letting the feet settle into the earth. It's a little sense of the screwing the feet into the earth. I don't mean force or push hard, but what it does, notice the motion of the hands. If I did it really hard, it would turn my heels in, but we're not going to do that. We're just letting the whole foot sink in, and it will open the qua, relatively bring knees out, but I don't mean go out past your feet, but so that they're not turning in. And if your body, arthritis, various conditions can be that this turning in has happened, it might initially be in your mind that you're doing this, but there's awareness as we screw the feet into the earth. We get this nice alignment where the knees come forward as are the toes, and it opens up that hip area and the quad, okay, the pelvic bowl. That allows the tailbone to gently sink, the dragon's tail to descend into the earth, so that we're standing with a three-legged stool. Deep roots into the earth from the feet, the dragon's tail. Even when we're moving, it's not that we disconnect. We still can have that deep rootedness, but we don't necessarily think about it that whole time when we're moving. So letting the tailbone sink, it allows that lengthening in the lower back, filling of the lower back. So while we've got the lower body relatively sinking, and then we're paying attention to the spine, we can imagine that earth energy, it literally can happen, but in the beginning, maybe we're imagining it. The earth energy spiraling up into the legs, coming up into the bottom of the torso, right? The Hui Yin, coming up into the lower Dantian, coming up into the heart center, the middle Dantian, up into the throat, our power of communication in the voice center, which doesn't mean we have to talk all the time, but that when we communicate, it can come from love and compassion, from the heart, the voice, coming up into the third eye, mid-eyebrow, awakening the ability to see what actually is. Much of what we see is what we think we're seeing from that thinking mind. And then letting the upper body rise, the spine is lengthening, tailbone sinking, crown rising. The neck naturally lengthens, so it's not that we're going to look up, it's not we're going to look down, but as we lengthen up through the cervical vertebrae, they're really going up the center of the skull. It's not really at the back of the skull, right? This kind of mushroom here on the stem of the neck. So when we let the neck lengthen up through the crown, that's what naturally draws the chin back a little bit. So we don't need to push it, right? Then we push the chin back and we might actually come out of alignment. So we're listening for the whole body to come into alignment. Everything feels at ease. We feel that nurturing support coming up from earth, and then we can feel the heavenly support coming in, right, from the whole universe. Lifting the head, letting the body have support to stand. And we can let the arms just hang loose at the sides. You might choose to focus on a particular area, especially if it's not an area that you're really easily able to tune into. And just stand. And listening inside your body, of course, for the breathing in and out continuously, without trying. Effortless, in and out, just like the waves coming in and out of the shore, rolling in and rolling out, and tuning into the whole body. Is there stiffness? Is there tension? Is there pain anywhere? Giving a loving smile and letting go, just letting the weight of the world, whatever pressing issues there may be, just melt down into the earth. Let Mother Earth compost them. Standing as we do bipedal, the loved children of heaven and earth. They're stewards of the earth. So we can also focus on allowing the heaven and earth energy to come together in the heart center. Really feeling that love, support, radiant energy. And when it's really feeling nice and full in the heart center, it'll naturally also be able to radiate out, right? First and foremost, we've got to make sure that we've got the chi flowing, that we are filling our own reservoir. And then there's plenty to share. This can be a wonderful practice to do for 10 minutes, 20 minutes. So there's the contrast of settling in, and the more practice we do, we could settle in very quickly. And then can we stay at ease? And can we train the mind to stay focused at ease in the body? But we've already gone for a few moments, and that might be something new for some of us, so we can shake it loose. If there was tension mounting anywhere from standing in that stillness, then go into the places that it sometimes isn't where the tension shows up. It might be an opposite somewhere, an up, a down, a forward, a back. And so scanning the body and listening for, wow, where was that causing? You know, if I'm really actually leaning more into one leg than the other, I might start to feel my opposite shoulder, something like that. So listening. Right, and let's take that stance again, and let's just take a moment to turn. So again, here, when the feet are rooted, spiraled down into the earth, qua is open, then we don't get that twisting and torquing of the legs when we're turning the waist. So the Tai Chi waist, it's that ability with that soft hip, sitting but not sitting, to turn the torso. And you can feel the difference of it just being free, There's no effort from my arms. They're moving because my torso is turning, and my main focus is on my dantian, the very center of it, 3-4 finger widths below the navel, about 1.5 inches inside the body, right in the center. And then with our intention, we can go into all those other levels of it, whether it's the feeling the vibration at the gate of life and the door of life, or all the other areas that we've gone to in other practices, but we won't spend too much time here today. Just activating the dantian, breathing deeply into the dantian, exhaling fully. And allowing that rotation to just naturally start to slow down. And the arms will come back to resting at your sides. Taking that moment to enjoy this freely moving. And if you're not feeling that when you stop turning the torso, everything stops, then that's an opportunity as well to ask inside, where am I holding tension? Am I letting myself hang loose? It's very common in our go, 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 high stress kind of times where we don't realize how much we're actually holding it into tension. All right, let's do a brief shaking. So our stance as we've been practicing, and then tuning into that lower dantian area and imagining there's a bouncing ball. So just like a child on the playground, we start bouncing, it'll gain momentum. So we want to listen inside for what is our true rhythm, right? We may be out running, but if we can do that from our own rhythm inside, it may very well be a lot slower than what it looks like out there when we're out in the world. But how can we stay connected to heaven and earth, that loving heart center, and our dantian guiding us for our own speed, so that whatever we do can actually be energizing and nourishing and joyful, rather than, just have to get this done, I have to get this done. And then we're just depleting ourselves. And then our practices are about how to top ourselves back up, rather than how about it's that we're actually growing more chi. So we just take a small bouncing and let it percolate, if you will. As it grows, then we start to find that with hips and shoulders relaxed, elbows, knees, ankles, wrists, that we can start to feel movement in the whole body. We'll feel the movement in the head, but because the crown is suspended from above, the head doesn't waggle all around. We don't do anything to jam the neck then, where the neck is still long. And again, this could be a half-hour practice all by itself, that we're taking our time to really tune into all the organs, the bones, all the connective tissue, the skin, the hair. But for now, it's just about, let's get into the body, feel the whole body, letting go of any tension. Ideally, we get to where the hands are shaking, they almost look like just rubber, but there's no effort. And we might start to find that the heels come up off the ground, and it's a nice vibration as they tap up and down. But again, not from effort, not pushing down the front of the foot or pulling the heels up, but just letting it happen. So if it doesn't happen all the time or on our first effort or trying this out, then don't worry about it. It'll come. Letting go. Anything that no longer serves. Anything we've been holding on to. Any self-imposed limitations. Letting go. And if your body is calling you to just let your inner child come out and play, shake your tail feathers, right? Any part of the body that just really would like to let go, then do that. Have fun with it. No effort, just coming out from center, radiating out, just feeling whole body, nice and free. And then we'll let that bouncing ball gradually come to rest. So just again, as a child bouncing a ball on the playground, someone calls and they just let the ball go. But it bounces still on its own for a little while. We come to rest and just feeling the vibrations of fresh, sparkly chi flowing through the body. Maybe you notice some places where it's not happening yet. You can come back to those areas. Just give a loving smile and invite them to the party. Everybody doing fine? All right. I can only see a few of you at a time, but it's nice to know you're there. We're all here together playing. All right, so the 5 treasures, the first one, this has long been one of my favorites. Let's take a little bit wider stance than usual. And again, all of these practices can be done in the chair if that's what feels most appropriate for you. And just do what we're doing. It's, just activate the legs as well if you're in the chair, so you can really get the feeling through the whole body. So the first one's ocean wave breathing. We're going to imagine we're in chest deep, warm, comfortable, buoyant water. I like the Gulf of Mexico for that one. I used to live in Florida. This is an idea I can really get into. Nice warm water. It's quite salty, so there's just nice buoyancy there. Some people like to get into some other kind of substance that helps you feel that there's just a little gentle resistance, but also that something's supporting you. But the nice thing is, if we can tune in to the idea of being in the ocean, is what we're feeling for is that as a wave rolls in, it lifts us, water level rises, and as the wave rolls out, we sink. The level of the water also comes down. And so if our feet were on a nice sand, so that's a feeling we're going for, okay? We're going to start small with the palms just in front of the dantian, our inner sea of chi. And with an inhale, we let the wave roll in and we feel a gentle sense of lifting. The weight goes to the front of the foot. It doesn't mean we lift the heels. And as we exhale and the wave rolls out, weight goes into the heels, and it's a little bit of a sit without sitting. So we're going to be expanding the movement, but first I want to get the idea of it to you. All right, so as we inhale, we open and lift. And as we exhale and we're into the heels and we sit, it also opens the lower back. So we're really activating the whole body, okay? So we're going to take our time. We inhale, opening, the palms are separating, feeling connection with that inner sea of chi. As we inhale, we lift up on the wave. As we exhale, we sink. So it's the weight in the front of the foot as we rise up on the wave, gentle wave. As we exhale, we sink into the heels. This is a wonderful practice for the winter time, for the kidneys, adrenal glands, the water element. Lots to pay attention to all at once. So we're kind of layering it in, because once we've got all the components, then we can just feel it with a sense of wholeness. Right. So you might feel it's a little odd getting the weight into the front of the foot, weight into heels. For those who play Tai Chi, this is a wonderful practice for feeling that weight shifting. So it doesn't mean I'm tipping forward. It doesn't mean I'm falling back, but there is very good for falls prevention, is that you're able to shift the weight without losing your balance. And then let's let each breath guide us as if there's a little bit bigger wave. And so we're not going to lift the arms, shoulders are relaxed, but it's the intention, a bigger wave. The inhale, hands float up on the water, and we sink. So there's great awareness there under the hands, guiding the arms. As we simultaneously shift the weight, sinking into the heels, onto the front of the foot. Ocean wave breathing. Getting tuned into the rhythm of the ocean. So powerful and yet so gentle. Right? So nourishing, essential to all of our lives, and it can move mountains. Gently. And as we let the waves expand, the hands don't need to go up past shoulder height. So we're not going to get into lifting from the shoulders. It's just allowing this rhythm that's gaining momentum, not speed, to just gently lift the whole body as we inhale. Heels are still on the ground, and as we exhale, we sink, we sit again into the heels, feeling this lift and sink, the water supporting us. As we expand out, that dantian, the inner sea of qi, expanding. As the hands go out, we're gathering qi from the seas of qi all around us, and we bring it in. So we're simultaneously gathering qi, cultivating more qi in our own body, while we're also remembering that we are all one with all that is. So feeling this harmonizing, feet rooted in the earth, crown suspended from heaven, connection with the whole world, the whole universe, all of the powers of nature. So you might enjoy this practice for 20 minutes. But it can also be something, once you've got all these components of it and you've got everything going together and it's easy to tune right into it, a few minutes, and it can be so energizing. And at the same time, it's so peaceful. So it can be very nice for bedtime. The water element, winter time, also has to do with rest and rejuvenation. So it's helping us calm the mind, but it also gives us energy. We need energy for good, deep, really rejuvenative, restorative sleep. So we flop on the bed and we're just dead tired. That's part of why, in the story of why do we wake up in the night. So this can be really nice for some rejuvenation, getting your qi restored, and then you go to sleep. And we're going to just gradually let those waves become smaller and smaller. We're condensing, concentrating the qi. We're still allowing the weight shifts. We're still rising with every inhale, sinking with each exhale. The waves get smaller, the condensed qi really packing into the lower dantian, our inner sea of Qi. And eventually the hands are undulating in tiny waves. The body's rocking forward and back ever so slightly. It's like rocking a baby to sleep. But we won't feel asleep because it's actually really energizing us as well. And then we'll gradually just allow the palms to come to the Dantian, the inner sea of Qi. And you might notice that you'll continue to sway forward and back for a moment or two. And enjoy that peaceful feeling, gentle power. And then we'll go ahead and come back to a normal stance. You don't have to separate your feet out too wide with that practice, just something that helps you to feel that ability to be supported and let the energy sway. And as with all Qigong practices, if it seems to you that they're making you tired, actually what's happening is it's letting you know you are tired. There's need for rest. There's need for rejuvenation in your body. And because we're relaxing and you're getting out of your own way, you know, the body's cueing you that, yeah, you could do with more rest. All right. And these practices help us get that kind of really deep rest that we need. Okay. Next, we're going to gather the earth energy. So this will be familiar to all of you, I think. A little bit wider than just our normal feet under hips, under shoulders. A little bit wider. So from the Dantian, we'll let the hands float up. So it's not the shoulders. And we're going to scoop the earth energy, sitting if you can, but we're not leaning forward. It could be a little bit, but it's really more of this sitting without sitting, gathering the earth chi. A little forward would be okay, but we don't want to put tension on the lower back. So we'll sink, we'll scoop the earth energy. We've got those deep roots under our feet already, so feeling the earth energy coming up through the roots. Up through the body. Some people do perceive the earth energy as lapis blue. That's the color we'd be working with. Rich, nourishing earth chi. It's coming all the way up through your crown. And then showering down all around you like a fountain. And at about shoulder height, we'll let the palms start to turn down. And we'll scoop some more. Big inhale, ideally one long inhale, but breathe in a way that's comfortable for you. Gathering the earth energy and bringing it up through the whole body. Rich, nourishing earth chi. Feel it coming up through your crown. And then showering 360 degrees all around your body. So the shoulders here are relaxed. The hands are guiding the chi, as is your breath and your intention and your focused attention. So a big inhale, deep, deep, deep into the belly. And exhale. And you might start to feel as this flow is going, at some point you don't even have to think about the movements. Just your focus, the breath, right? The momentum, the energy starts to just move you. And it may not happen. This is our first or third or whatever time trying this, but that's what can happen. But doesn't, if we're guiding always with a thinking mind, right? It's staying relaxed. earth energy up from the core of the earth, all the way up through the body, showering all around us. Mother Earth, nourishing from inside. Very, very powerful connection for the kidneys, energizing the batteries. And a protective layer out all around us. Let's go one more. And bring the palms to the dantian. Just breathe. Notice how you feel. Maybe you can sense the flow of the lapis blue up through the deep roots, nourishing your whole body, particularly focusing on the kidneys. And then feeling the cocoon of the nourishing blue field of chi all around you. And then we'll go to the third of the five treasures, gathering starlight. So modern science even tells us now, yes, indeed, what the ancient Taoists understood, we've come from the stars. That energy, that matter, right? The material coming into the material plane here on Earth. So this is a fun one to be able to tune in and be able to gather the starlight into the body. This Qigong movement is more akin to the weight transferring that we experience in Tai Chi, and remembering that Tai Chi is a Qigong practice. So first, I want to show about the footwork. We're going to be stepping on a diagonal. And as we transfer weight, we always want to make sure we're keeping the knees safe, so don't go out past the toes. But we're going to be turning the torso. So that's a piece I want us to just take a look at, is that we're not tweaking or torquing anything. So we step in a way that's comfortable so that we can experience, as we're gathering the chi, we're weight forward out on that diagonal leg, and as we gather it in, we switch to the leg that we started from, where the toes are forward, okay? So it's definitely an opportunity to practice weight transfers. It's okay if you sit into that support leg and the other foot maybe even lifts a little bit, but it doesn't need to. It's just getting comfortable with this weight transfer so we can let the qua be relaxed and feel that rotation, right? That's really as much the goodies in the movement, helping us feel that spiraling energy. And then as we gather the chi, really tuning in. If we're having to think too much about all that weight transfer, it's harder to tune into that gathering of chi. So like all of these practices, you're layering in skills, and then with practice, you don't have to think about it anymore. And then you can really get into what the poetry is of it, what the feeling is that we're looking for. So we're going to go to both sides. So first, I'm going to go ahead. We create a beak hand. We call it a beak hand in Tai Chi. The tips of the fingers come together if they can. If that's not comfortable for your fingers, fine, whatever you can do. And we're going to concentrate. That's the idea, concentrating the energy at the door of life between lumbars 2 and 3. And that's going to be on the initial support leg, so that as we step out a little bit on the diagonal, that's the hand we're going to move is that same side, okay? And the first weight transfer forward, as we gather starlight, we're gathering it in, as we shift weight back now, into the lower dantian. And the waist naturally turns as we transfer the weight. And we're gathering starlight from across the galaxies, and as we shift the weight back, come into the heart center. The arm is starting to spiral up. It's the hand, it's not the shoulder. Weight is forward, we're turning, we're gathering starlight. As the weight comes back, it draws the hand back, or that upper hand, to the mid-eyebrow, upper dantian. Transfer the weight. The hand is continuing to circle up above the head. And we're going to pour the starlight into the crown. Keep turning the waist, transferring the weight. We're going to come back around 2 more times, pouring the energy of the starlight in through the crown. Feeling the spiraling energy with the weight transfers, allowing the Tai Chi waist to turn. Tai Chi as in the supreme ultimate, the balance and harmony. Hand starts to come down, we're back to mid-eyebrow. Feeling the starlight you're gathering, scooping it up across the galaxies, and particularly the palm of your hand, just allowing that sparkling, shimmering, vibrant, radiant energy to flow into the body, heart center, and to the lower dantian. And then we'll step back in. Of course, we were breathing in and out continuously the whole time. If you noticed there's lots of things to pay attention to and you started to just hold your breath, then your practice will be take one thing you can layer in at a time and making sure you're breathing. Because that's essential for all of Qigong. All right, we're going to go to the other side. So switch hands, get the beak hand, come to the door of life. That's the side where I first up my weighted leg, so that as I step on a little bit of a diagonal, that's the same side hand I'm going to be moving. And here we go, gathering starlight. And as we come back with our weight, it also helps to just bring the hand in. So it's dantian, feeling the spiral in this movement. Gathering starlight from across the galaxies to the heart center. Again, shoulders staying relaxed, elbow down as the hand rises, gathering starlight, bringing it in, mid-eye, mid-eyebrow, third eye, and then up above, so that we can gather and bring the starlight in, pouring it in through your crown. We'll go 2 more times, feeling that sparkling, radiant, vibrant starlight flowing into your whole body. And then we start to spiral back down, gathering the starlight to the forehead, nourishing your brain, your eyes, all the glands in your brain, to the heart center, out to the wings of the heart and the lungs. More chi into the lower dantian, all the organs, vital organs, intestines. And we'll step back in. Just take a moment, enjoying the feeling, the sparkly, radiant starlight circulating in your whole body. Nice practice to do at night. Step outside. I love to do that on a particularly dark night. Fortunate where we live. But the stars are there, whether the night sky is lit up by by human interventions or not. The stars are there. So going outside in the night and just really scooping them up. They're always there, even in the daytime, right? So very nice to go outside and really supercharge yourself. All right, so fourth has to do with opening the heart center. Often when I'm doing my volunteer work with healing arts practitioners, and many of us that go out and volunteer and are out serving others or are as caregivers, there would be this tendency to, it's give, 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 it's all going out. So this is a practice that reminds us that first, we must put ourselves in our own center and circle of care, right? Not, oh, I care for everybody else and I'm somewhere else, separate. Is that you are first and foremost in your own circle of care, and you fill your own reservoir, and then there'll be plenty overflowing, and you can care for others, care for the world. And then it can be really caring instead of like stressed out and anxious about it, okay? So this one is really about that, the heart center, open to giving and receiving love. Okay, so there's two parts to it. So first we're going to receive love. So the movement, as these always are, there are layers to it. So first, let's take a look at the hands. This is opening the chest. This is opening at the back, the heart center. We want to feel some movement here, even in the thoracic vertebrae, the back of the heart center, but out, in, right? So ultimately, it's really nice for the spine as well, because we're going to get some movement in the thoracic vertebrae. Then we'll add more whole body movement to it. But first, it's not the shoulders, it's the hands. The idea will be this gathering love from the whole universe and this opening, right? So it's not a hunching over, but there's a sense of almost pushing back into the thoracics so we get movement in the thoracic. So it's not about the shoulder blades pumping around. It's the back of the heart center, okay? So it is easier to get to that actually when we add the legs, because if we sit, we can send back that lower dantian, or in the lower dantian area, the door of life, and that helps us create that rounding. I hope you can see this, it's hard to tell. So that then as we come up, I'm exaggerating a little bit because I'm hoping what you can see is this, my tailbone has sunk. I've got my door of life really nice and full here, same as the back of the heart center. So then as I come up, it's like up from the earth through the legs. And those natural curves kind of return. So there's this undulating, but it's not with force. But yes, you'll actually get a little bit of, a strengthening kind of thing happening through the legs, okay? So let's try that. As we're gathering love, and as we're letting it penetrate deep into the heart center, that's when we're coming up. Gathering, sending it in as I exhale and I come up. So without force, if you want to go for this as really whole body, now I'm sending back, gate of life or door of life in the back and the back of the heart center. And as I roll up, it really opens. I'm opening the back of the heart center. I'm really opening the front of the heart center. I'm gathering. And then I'm sending in. Okay, but if it's too much, it can be, a lot of work in a way to do the whole body. You can do all of that in the chair because you can really tune in from the pelvic bowl all the way through the spine, right? But if you want to just let it be a little easier, a little lighter, just allow the hands to bring the arms and open the heart center, front and back. It's like the chest will really sink to send the thoracics back. And we've gone a few repetitions by now. So if you're feeling it in your shoulders, do less. Let it be easier, because it's the hands bringing the arms. And it's that whole body movement. So we've got the deep rootedness, the crown suspended. Right? There's motion, there's movement, energy flowing from top to bottom through the whole body. Let's go through one more cycle. And then let the hands come to the heart center. So in your own practice, a little hard to count when I'm teaching as well, at least 3 times. It's a power number in the Tao, and it's a way to activate, get something moving, and then really get the benefit of the practice. So 3 times, 9 times, 18 times. If you just have a moment, you want a little recharge, do 3 of each of these. Okay. All right, so tuning into the heart, feeling the heart filled with love, gathering, gathering, gathering that love from the whole universe. Nice simple meditation all by itself will be to just tune into that intention and feel until your heart is overflowing with love, appreciation, compassion. And then we're going to change direction. So this will now be sending out love. So watch what happens with the hands. They don't turn down or out. They're just going to stay relatively up. So we send out love to the whole universe. And again, it's the hands opening heart center. So we're still gathering chi. That's part of the idea here. And so we can send out love and it circles back around to us. So we don't need to be stingy about it, but we do need to first make sure our own reservoir is full. Okay. So sending out love to loved ones, easy enough. Sending out love to difficult ones. Sending out love to everyone, no exceptions, right? So we're really tuning into what pure love, compassion, appreciation is about. And it gives space, it gives energy for everyone to be able to grow, to heal, right? Releases ourselves from judgment and criticism and intolerance, but it also releases others from feeling the burden of those things. And they set them free to be able to transform as well. So tuning in, really your deep, infinitely deep inner reservoir, sending out love. When we let go of resistance, well, then that love also does flow back to us. Right? Sending out judgment, criticism, hatred, cruelty, what comes back? Or that there's such resistance, then how can we get our own reservoirs filled with love? Yeah? So free flow. And let's just enjoy that flow. A couple more times. Sending out lots of love to all of you. We'll bring the hands back to the heart center. Take a moment, feeling your heart. You might literally have raised your heart rate with all that movement. Just feeling that love and come on home into your dantian. We'll go to the final, the fifth, 5 treasures, the 5th one. Feeling all that love, gathering the energy, the love. Let me do a quick check-in. Did my AirPod just go? Do I sound different? Do I sound different now? Still.
You're okay, Heather.
It's okay. There was a sound that I wondered. Okay. All right. We'll carry on then. All right. So gathering the heaven energy, gathering the love from the whole Heavenly Father, the universe, the sun, the moon, the stars, the planets. You can take a regular stance as we check back in. Feet rooted deep into the earth. Crown not just suspended from heaven, but that we feel this sense of connection above and below. Right, tailbone sinking, crown rising, nice long through the neck, through the whole spine. Connection from the dantian. And we're gathering. It doesn't have to be just above us, right? It's the power of the sun, the moon, the stars, the planets, the whole universe. And pouring that energy in through the crown, sensing it flowing in through the whole body, all the way down through the feet, down even into the roots. And then it's the reverse of what we did with earth. It's this big, deep, deep, and then drawing it up around us, gathering the heaven chi, pouring it in through the whole body. Down, 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 as deep as you can. And then let it wrap up around us. So we're gathering this supportive, radiant, vibrant energy from the universe. So whereas it was lapis blue for the earth, it's the red, it's the violet from the heaven chi coming in. This has to do with the frequencies. This isn't made up colors. You can actually see it now. Scientists are able to show us. So gathering the sun, the moon, the stars, the planets, and the red and the violet. You're filling your whole body, all the way down through the whole body, deep, deep, deep down into the roots. Start down as your mind power can take it, and then feel that. So it's out even farther beyond your hands that you're creating this big cocoon. We've got the blue ones coming up and showering down, and the heaven chi, it's showering down, or pouring down, and then showering up all around us. So it's a nice long big inhale and exhale. Ideally one long inhale, exhale, but do what's comfortable. Let's go a few more times quietly. And then we'll let the hands come back to the dantian. And just enjoy a moment being bathed and infused by the radiant, vibrant heaven chi. Remembering the seas of chi that we gathered. We did our ocean wave breathing. The rich, nourishing earth chi coming up through the body and showering down all around us, the lapis blue. The shimmering, sparkling starlight gathering the energy of the stars into the body, the spiraling feeling of the movement. The filling the heart, infinitely deep reservoir, filled with love, appreciation, compassion. And the activating, the continuous flow and of giving and receiving love. And the giving also sending the love right back to us, a continuous flow, like a figure eight or infinity sign, just giving, receiving, flowing. And then finally the heaven chi, radiant, supportive, the red, the violet, power of the sun, the moon, the stars. Noticing how you feel. Letting your chi gather and condense into the lower dantian. Your breath deep in the dantian, your focused attention there. Stay with me, chi, throughout my day. Ready there to serve as needed. And our commitment to ourselves is to hold that intention, to stay present, feel the chi, notice if we're spending it when it's time to refill the reservoir. Noticing if we're constricting through resistance, through being too busy, letting anxiety crop up, whatever it may be, noticing, come back to being present, here, now, love, breathing, just moments here and there throughout the day, allowing ourselves to return the chi to its natural flow so that we can be replenished and restored. And then we can have fun and joy doing whatever it is that we're going to do. We might even get some intelligence into choosing those things where we say, yeah, thanks, but no thanks. Doesn't feel good for me. I'm not going to do it. I choose, or I could choose to do it in a way that's fun. All right, so thank you for coming out to play. Hope you enjoyed that session. And then we'll go ahead and have some questions and answers if you'd like. Maybe I have answers.
Shall I put it back to gallery view, Heather?
Yeah, let's do. It's fun to be all together like that. Thanks. Anyone have any questions? Does it feel nice to play with that set? Yeah, see some nodding.
Yeah, you mentioned on 3 times on one of them. Would you say that's on all of them to kind of do the 3, 5, 7, 9, whatever?
At least 3. So in the Taoist way of looking at things, 3 is a nice power number. And so then to 9, 18, so it's these multiples of that, the 3. The reason for the 3 has to do, it takes at least 3. Even in Tai Chi, those who play Tai Chi might notice, your first round of the set, is just getting things going again. It's part of why we warm up as well. You go through a few times and it gets more flow. So it's to activate, then it's to start to feel the movement, and then by the 3rd, we're tuning into really getting it. Oh, I can feel what the intention is, what we're wanting to feel there. It doesn't mean 3 is enough when you're just learning. Because what we don't want to do is just from the thinking mind. We want to feel it. It doesn't go entirely on autopilot, that might be a little too out from it being that it's within us, but we want to get the layers of the movements on any Qigong or Tai Chi, and not just this set, but you want to get it comfortable in your body, which could include modifying if there are, you know, some aspects to the overall wholeness of the movement that just aren't comfortable for your body. They might become comfortable with gently moving and encouraging, but initially it's usually the thinking mind is trying to figure it all out, and that gets in the way. So it's just that gently practicing, self-loving, practicing, and then 3 might be enough. So that's, so that if you don't have a lot of time and you'd like to go through the whole set, right? This one, you could certainly do each of these separately and spend 20 minutes or something, and just really getting into the flow. Yeah, but once each, no. Even if you really know the set, the only way I'd do that was if I just said, wow, I'm trying to remember it or something, you know, and you've got lots of different sets, but at least 3 times. So you can do this in just a matter of 5-10 minutes, this whole set. Not rushed, but that, you know, oh, I have a little time, or I need a recharge. What, you know, in my toolkit could I go to? This is a lovely set. But if I had only a few minutes, I ocean wave breathe frequently. And I'm ever doing shake the tree and just, you know, beating the gong, the heavenly gong, all of that stuff, just to get things moving again. But ocean wave breathing is super valuable because it's so important for the kidneys and keep them energized. Does that make sense? Just, it's so important to not try to just gather up so many practices. You can't even keep track of them. Pick the things that feel just somehow they resonate for you, and then get them to be getting to a place where they're natural, and then you can get where you're not thinking about it. You can feel it. You can really get inside. Because if we're just doing it from the thinking mind, oh, I know this one and I know this one, we don't really know it. Right? That's part of what the meaning even is with the Taoist saying of the Tao that can be named is not the Tao. That's the thinking mind saying, I know something. And you don't know it unless it's really in you. And then it's actually kind of indescribable, which I always find interesting in endeavoring to teach it. I'm sharing something that I know. You only really can get it through your own practice. And questions help, but it's mostly our own exploration. If I can give you enough of what is it we're trying to do, both in terms of the art of it, the poetry, the body alignment, the postures, then you play with it. And you, oh, there, I feel something. Oh, that feels nice. And overall, you just start to notice other things happening in your own life. And that's the goal, is are we bothered and upset by everything that's going on around us? Or can we stay centered and whole and happy and healthy and be able to be a presence of love in the world, right? Instead of all distracted and fragmented and so. I like this set so much. Again, these are all practices. We could take the heaven and earth one, and that's beautiful to do together. And then you start to feel the blue is going and the red and violet are going, and it's everywhere. You know, these are all very traditional old practices, but it's really nice to bring them together, I think, in this set. And that was really well done some years ago. What else do we feel curious about? We feel nice, relaxed, energized. There's some kind of nice, that inner smile, right? It doesn't have to be big toothy, but when it is, there's also, so that's the thing too, is feeling that. You know, again, if we finish and we feel tired, it's because we actually need more rest. And that's, I was helping someone with this the other day. She's on the bed a long time, but she's not getting rest. So there's this frustration that crops up because there's so much anxiety that she's tired, but she's not getting good rest. So it's a vicious cycle. So we've come up with some practices really for her, because if you're feeling a lot of anxiety or fear, a lot of emotions, well, then the rest isn't happening, and then it's depleting, right? And that's not a place to operate from. And these are all things I know so firsthand. I mean, I watch it in my own daily life, and being mom and all that, but also quite literally when I had a near-death experience, right? And being on a hospital bed, and where I didn't have the chi I needed to even really do the practices, and I'd just get the feeling of it in my mind. But it's an experience when you're really that close to death of, oh, okay, it takes time to build up chi, and that's things like dantian breathing and the reverse breathing, and even watching, being in the field like we're still in a field of chi together here. And that helps us to be able, even if it's not our best day, to just draw on this. It's not taking it from anyone. It's that we're creating this field of chi, the give and the exchange, the flow, for the whole universe. It's an infinite supply, is the idea. And then as you build up, right, then you start to be able to feel more. And it's not about just the thinking about it. But if we don't have that fundamental energy, that's really when we just got to take care of ourselves first, because otherwise there's nothing to give, right? But these tools, it's lovely to have hours a day to practice, that's for sure. But in our real lives, I mean, moments here and there, making those moments, and it can be, if you're feeling tired, a little practice will help you. But you know the difference of if it's that you're really tired and you need rest, and pushing through a practice is not then the answer. It's have some rest first, or maybe you need water, or maybe you need some food, good food, nourishing food, and then wait a little while and then practice. So it's not about being, I gotta practice, our American way kind of thing. It's not that. But yeah, inviting those times throughout the day, especially if we feel like so many people are at home a lot now, snacking or coffeeing or something is, I could practice. I could do a little practice, and you'll feel better. You'll actually enhance your chi that way. And it feels good about yourself as well. So it's not like, oh, how am I going to remember all of these and how am I going to fit it all in? It's what feels good for you. One practice done well, thoroughly, effectively, is way more important than collecting up a whole bunch of them. But they do accumulate over time with practice.